I'm Crystal Craven, and I sing, I songwrite, I lead worship, and I am passionate about sharing what God inspires. And this coming up right here is your weekly devotional. All right, well, we are now moving into Luke chapter 24, the final chapter of Luke. And we are going to look at the resurrection today. So we're going to read verses 6 through 9. It says, "He is not here, but has risen. Remember how he told you, while he was still in Galilee, that the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and on the third day rise." And they remembered his words, and turning from the tomb, they told all these things to the 11 and to all the rest. Now, when the women went to the tomb that morning, they had come with their spices and their ointments, and they were going to anoint the body of Jesus that they thought was still lifeless. But instead of finding death, they encountered two angels declaring the most glorious news the world has ever heard. He is not here, but has risen. Yet even in that incredible moment, the angelic messengers didn't introduce a new idea. They simply reminded the women of what Jesus had already said. Remember how he told you. Jesus had not been secretive about his mission. Over and over again, he told his disciples that he would suffer and die and rise again. But really, the grief and fear and confusion had clouded their memories. It took divine prompting to reignite what had been tucked away in their memory. And once they remembered, they moved into action. The women left the tomb not with spices in hand anymore, but with the truth on their lips, ready to tell the others. And Luke tells us where it says they told all these things to the 11 and to all the rest. The message that Jesus was alive was too powerful, too essential, and too life-altering to keep to themselves. And remembering his words led to them witnessing. How often are we like these women? We know the truth. Jesus is risen. His word is true. His promises are sure. Yet, in the chaos and the sorrow of life, sometimes we forget. Sometimes we become overwhelmed by circumstances or just discouraged by delays, and we lose sight of what God has already told us. But when we return to the Word and we remember what He has said, our hearts and our minds are renewed, and that renewal compels us to speak. This is the heartbeat of the gospel. Jesus died, was buried, and rose again, just as He said. We are not called to come up with something new or flashy. We're called to remember His words and then tell them to others. Now, Paul reminds us in Romans 10:17, where he said, "Faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ." As we meditate on what Jesus has said, our faith grows. And as we share it, the gospel spreads. Don't underestimate the power of remembrance. And don't withhold the joy of the resurrection from those who really need to hear it. Like the women at the tomb, may we be people who remember what Jesus has said and then carry that message boldly into the lives of others. And may what we do and speak truly be a testimony of God's redeeming love. For blogs, written devotionals, and originally written songs, visit crystalcravenmusic.com, and that is Crystal with a K and craven with a C.